Well, welcome to another very exciting, very interesting, stupendous update about Archmage Rises, the most sophisticated role-playing game ever made.
Yay!
A couple of things, talking about the animator that we're looking for and the weather that Nick's been working on, and a little bit about interactive hexes and what that means. And that's it! It's going to be a super short update, we think.
So we might make 8 minutes.
We might. So let's get to it. Okay, so based on fan feedback and more fan feedback, people are saying that the game looks very static, and they use the very nice term static. I think they mean dull, boring, unattractive. There's probably a lot of words that they mean. Now, just to be clear, everybody likes Roger's painting. But then the fact that it just sits there, it's not very exciting. So we've been looking for an animator. I've talked to 4 different animators in 5 time zones. That doesn't even make sense. And they're currently doing a test, and they're going to send it back. And then we can, once we choose one, then we can show you some of the animation work that they're doing. Now, this is something I always planned to do. The way that the game looks right now is never what I thought it would be by the time we were done. I just plan to do this later in the project, but because people are talking about it now, I think it's affecting our ability to attract fans and take the game seriously. And so I'm going to do that now, and people can hopefully take the game seriously for those who currently don't. So that's where we are on that. And if any of the animators are watching this, good luck with your test. Just to give a quick update on the schedule, I have been working on what we call the problem system, which I've now renamed. It's no longer called the problem system or the blight system. It's now called the kingdom system. And that just sounds cooler, but it actually makes sense. So the reason is that you have wolves or goblins or anything, and they're given territory, and they kind of rule that territory, and they spread in that territory. And so I call those kingdoms. Inside the code, I call them kingdoms, and those kingdoms can spread, and they can get attacked and damaged and such. And so when you have a certain amount of territory, then they can plant down another base, and then that gives them even more territory. And so the more bases they have, then the stronger they are within the world, and the player can go and muck around with all that. And the towns can send military patrols in order to go and attack those kingdoms. So there's just lots of dynamic stuff going on. And so I think we're going to call it the kingdom system. What do you think of that, Nick?
Well, it sounds confusing, but also cool. So, I'll call it whatever you want. If you make me call it spaghetti, I'll call it spaghetti.
Well, it's in the code. It's called Kingdom.
I saw.
Yeah. So that's part of the emergent questing and reaction systems built in the game. So that's what I've been working on. And I showed a bit of it last week, and I've spent basically all of this week trying to get it really working perfectly. And it's been very grueling, and I'm very tired. We're filming this at the end of a Friday, and I'm tired. I'm sick of it. I don't want to work on it anymore. Anymore today, anyway. So schedule-wise, we are into the buffer week that we scheduled. So we put together our grand schedule to be feature complete January 24th of 2018. We put in a week every month in order to catch up on things, and it just so happened that the Kingdom system is taking me extra time, and right at the time when I had a buffer week. So isn't that convenient?
It's handy. That's what a buffer week's for.
Yeah. So I did work last Saturday. My kids took off with my wife, and I did manage to get some stuff done. So I've been saying I'm 2 days behind, and I am now closer to 1 day behind, somewhere between 1 and 2 days behind. And I should be on par by the time this buffer week is over. So that's where I stand. Where do you stand, Nick?
I'm doing good. I'm still working on map stuff.
How's your marriage?
It's fabulous. Thank you for asking.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, things are going good. I'm using the buffer week to, kind of clean some stuff up, fix some bugs, address some of the feedback that we've gotten. For instance, when you right click on part of your tower, it does delete it, and some people were figuring that out the hard way after scrimping and saving to build something, and then they would just destroy it on accident. So maybe
Oops.
we need a confirmation. It was really nice for us in dev because you could right click and drag across, and bam, you could blow a whole side off of your tower. But we didn't have to pay for it, so
Yeah.
we can understand that maybe that needs to be done. And some other things like zooming with the keyboard and stuff. So I'm gonna make sure to add that in this week so people have it when we release.
What about the runaway button?
Runaway button, yep, that's on the list too. We definitely, with a permadeath game, if you're in over your head, you should know that and not die instantly. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how are you doing schedule-wise?
Good, on track.
You say that every week.
I do.
Okay, good. So let's get into what you've actually been working on for the last number of days, and that is the weather system. So I will flip over to the game itself. Hey, look at us, we're playing the game. So here we are in the game, and time passes realistically in this world. We have the current time 6 a.m. On the 1st of the 3rd month, and as I move around, it's taking up time. And during this season, we're in spring. It's rainy, so there you can see the rain is starting to come in. Yay, rain! And so as I move around here, I'm now starting to get covered in the rain. And so if I go into this town, it should be raining. Hey, it's raining in the town! So that's kind of cool. And then you were saying there's some features that we can change with this. What can we do about the rain?
Yeah, so there's different sound effects. So the rain will sound better when there's, it'll sound like there's more or less rain depending on the amount, wind, all that kind of stuff. It's also dynamic, so if the rain cloud's above you, it'll show up. But if you go and sleep, you'll see it in real time passing above you.
Yeah. And we have a new thing now where you can actually go to these individual hexes. So if I take this away, I'm standing in this hex, and you can explore them, but I'm not going to show any of that yet because it's not done and it's not very exciting yet. But we can see that here we are here in this hex, and if I walk around some more, then the storm will pass. And these storms have game impact, don't they, Nick?
Yeah, they should. Right. I mean, they don't right now, but they should.
Yeah, so they're going to affect things, most prominently your well-being. For anybody who's ever had to walk home from a bus stop or something in the rain, that royally sucks. You're soaked to the bone, you're miserable, and that's going to affect your ability to talk to other characters, persuade them, maybe even affects your casting. But there's a quick way in which to improve your well-being, and that's hard liquor. So that's a feature that'll be coming later, but we can all look forward to the hard liquor and the drinking problems that come from that, all because of the weather. So that's about it. That's all we have to show this week, and it really can be more exciting than that. But that's all we have for this week. So let's talk about the build that's coming out on the 28th. So this video update is going to come out on the 1st, and then, or sorry, not on the 1st. It's going to come out on Monday, and then the 28th is Tuesday. So there's going to basically be a build coming out. What kind of stuff do you think we're going to get in for that build?
Well, we have a bunch of features that nobody has played before. I think we've talked about most of them in other updates. There's still some questions about how many we're going to enable and disable, but you should be able to see the weather and the day-night cycle. What else do we have? Are we planning on getting the new trading stuff in? Yeah, the new trading stuff will be in for sure. It's this more hairy stuff that I've been working on with the kingdom system and the banditry, the news system. I don't know if we'll be able to get all that ready. There's a difference between having it working and having it ready.
for everybody. So we will try to get as much into the build as we can. The last thing we want to do is give people more buggy software. I mean, every build we've pushed out has been buggy software, but we would like to see the number of bugs go down and the quality go up with these builds. So
Exactly.
commenting out some of the features is one quick way for us to not give people trouble.
Yep, we didn't really get too much fan feedback since the last update, so we would like to hear from you if you find any bugs or if you have some ideas about anything we talked about. What kind of things do you think the weather should affect? What do you think about the kingdom system? What kind of problems do you think are interesting? That kind of thing.
Yeah, pre-orders are up over the last month. They were kind of going down towards December, and January and February they're going right up. So thank you very much for those who have pre-ordered. It helps pay Nick.
Thank you.
It doesn't help pay me because I don't make anything. Doing it all for free, for the love of the game.
What a guy.
What a guy, yeah. Yeah, that's it. So we'll see you all next week. Bye.